Brenda Eugene on behalf of the State Attorney's Office.
Letitia George on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Sir, please tell me your name.
Ricky Dunlap.
21 MM4886. You're here charged with battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause in this case.
Your Honor, he does qualify for pretrial release. I see he has no criminal convictions.
What says the state?
Objection.
At this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You can't have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you two living in the same house?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't now. I'll order you must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. I'll further order that you're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Juan Contreras.
Looks like you have a warrant out of Polk County in case number 0075196 for failure to comply with sex offender registration requirements. There's no bond authorized on this. We'll notify them that you're here so they can transport you. Do we know when this warrant was issued? Sorry, the case number is 21 CF 5177. I need to know if the warrant was issued after November 3rd, 2019. Does anyone have the actual warrant?
No, Your Honor.
No, it's for Polk County. Does the state have it?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, why is it hot today? We're back to hot. All right, so how do we know there's a warrant? If nobody has the warrant, where's the warrant? State?
I would try Polk County Clerk's Office,
Santiago?
see if one was filed there.
Can you check that?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's out on bond for 4 counts of lewd or lascivious. I'm going to revoke those counts if this warrant was issued after he was out on bond. But if it wasn't, then I can't revoke that bond.
Your Honor,
But somewhere, someone has a warrant because we have a teletype that says there's a warrant.
and Your Honor, did you say it occurred in Polk County?
Yes,
My client is claiming he never resided in Polk County, so
that's between him and Polk County. Can we bring him back at the end? Because I want to see if we can find the warrant. Please tell me your name.
Joshua Howard.
A warrant was issued for your arrest in 18 CF 17375 for violating your probation by committing the criminal offense of grand theft and criminal mischief on or about June 30th, 2021, and by failing to successfully complete 200 hours of community service. There's no bond authorized on that warrant, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Good luck, sir.
Mr. Halls is mental health, Your Honor.
All right, 21 CF 8302, I'll appoint the public defender's office.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
There is probable cause. I'll stay the bond at $2,500 and $100. No victim contact, no return. And then in 21 CF 157, a warrant was issued for his arrest for violating his probation. Ms. George, I'm going to appoint your office in that case as well.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Thank you. There's no bond?
Not working.
I wasn't able to.
No.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, he's out on bond? I'm not
I'll
really.
see if I can, but.
No action?
No action. Please tell me your name. A warrant was issued for your arrest in 20 CT 946 for violating your probation by committing the offense of petty theft. There's no bond authorized on that warrant, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Good luck, sir. Oh, good. I was just about to ask if we have his client coming out soon.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Counsel, go ahead, put your appearance on record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mauricio Wed, last name spelled H-U-E-D, here representing Mr. Elvis Quimmy, who's standing to my right. I have filed a notice of appearance much earlier, many years ago on the case, and I will be representing him on this violation of probation. At this time, Your Honor, I'd ask the court to consider setting a bond on the case. All of these violations really stem from the very first date. He went on June 18th to get started in Brevard County. There was a misunderstanding as to whether or not he could be in that area. His officer told him that he could be in that address, the 1820 Hallam Avenue address. But when he went and reported at the sheriff's office the next day, they said, no, that's incorrect. So after that, he got a hold of his probation officer. He said, look, I can't be here anymore. Something's not adding up, and he was trying to make his way home. If the court is not inclined to entertain a bond, I would just ask that we get this before the VOP court as soon as possible.
All right. This is 2009 CF 16296. And I reviewed the affidavit, Counselor. There's also the allegation that your client failed to abstain from the use of alcohol or drugs in that he purchased Budweiser and 4 Loco drinks and drank the Budweiser at the residence.
That's right, Your Honor. And he had permission to do so from his probation officer in Orlando. This is all coming from the transfer over into Brevard. This Officer Flanagan is from the Brevard probation, and these are not the instructions as he had them from Orlando.
All right. Nonetheless, given the seriousness of the charge, at this time, I think I'm not inclined to entertain a bond. There's no bond authorized on Judge Rocha's warrant. But I would say get it in front of her as soon as you can, because if, I believe what you're telling me, it does sound like there was some confusion, and if that's true, and he really shouldn't be violated, I'm going to let her make that decision.
Thank you, Your Honor. And does this court have anything in terms of the scheduling or the calendaring?
I don't.
All right.
So call her JA right away.
All right. I will do, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Counselor. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Morning, may it please the court, Your Honor.
Absolutely, Counsel.
How you doing, Judge? Harold Thompson on behalf of Mr. Kevin Santiago Gould.
21 CF 7959. A warrant was issued for your arrest, sir, charging you with burglary of an occupied dwelling and aggravated stalking domestic. What this means is another judge has already found probable cause. Did you wish to be heard on bond, Counselor?
Yes, Your Honor, we just ask if you could just set a reasonable bond in this case, Your Honor. My client, he does live locally. He has a gainful and lawful employment. He works for a trucking company. He could afford a $1,000 bond at this time, Your Honor.
What says the state?
He will agree to have no contact with the victim and no return in any conditions the court would want to place on him.
No objection, Your Honor.
He is eligible for pretrial release, Your Honor, but we'll ask in good faith if we could just have a $1,000 bond with special conditions from no return, no contact, and to, any other conditions the court would like to impose. If the court would like to know a little factual history in this case, I can let the court know. I understand the charges may be serious, but my client has some, a long relationship history with this alleged victim. They have a 1-year-old child in common. They've known each other between 10 to 12 years. They've even together so much as to, in the middle of May, last June. They're just having some relationship issues right now. So I believe if they just had some time to cool off, separate this, I don't believe there's any factual basis to really charge him with burglary of occupied dwelling. He had no intention to commit any crime while inside. He just wanted to talk to his daughter and work out the issues that they've had. My client has text messages that show she's been talking to him, trying to engage in communication. So this is really, the facts of the case is not really what it seems. It's 3 sides to every story, Your Honor. My client has a very good
that.
defense to this case by very admissions of the alleged victim.
So I also see that he has 2 warrants out of Georgia, but you're telling me that your client lives here?
Yes, Your Honor. He's a truck driver, though. He does live here, but he does travel for work.
Over the road truck?
Yes, Your Honor.
driver? Ah.
He has a CDL. I'm not aware of any warrant.
2 warrants out of Georgia, 1 for a hit and run with injuries and violation of injunction. Both are extraditable. I don't have those warrants, I just have a note that those exist.
My client doesn't know anything about that. He hasn't been served with any injunction or anything like that.
Okay?
Is the date of birth the same? Like you know?
I don't have that information.
Okay, Your Honor.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could tell you. The reason I was asking, it's not about the facts of those cases, but you represented to the court, and I believe counsel, that he lives locally.
Yes.
With warrants from out of state. I'm assessing bond needed to secure his presence here in our state if he is really out of state.
Thank
But
you.
over the road truck driver, that makes sense to me. Since the state doesn't object at this time, I'm going to set a $1,000 bond on count 2, the aggravated stalking, $500 on count 1, with special conditions. You can't have any contact with the victim. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, your attorney just told me that you two have a child together. At this time, you can't even talk to her about the child. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney, who's done an excellent job for you this morning, can file a motion in front of the trial judge to get that changed. But until another judge changes that order, you can't call her, text her, show up at her house, even if your reason is, I want to see my child. You understand that? All
Yes, ma'am.
right, you can't return to her residence for any reason. You can't be within 1,000 feet of it. You can't possess a firearm, any other kind of weapon or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good to see you, Judge.
Good to see you as well. Have a nice day.
Good day. Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Giovanni Brown.
21 CF 8330. Is this the one we saw yesterday?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with 7 counts of petty theft, 3 counts of burglary of a conveyance, 1 burglary of an occupied dwelling, 8 counts of criminal mischief, and 8 of attempted burglary in 8330. And then in 8237, 1 count of burglary of an occupied dwelling, 23 counts of burg conveyance, 1 count of grand theft of a firearm, 3 counts of grand theft motor vehicle, 1 count of armed burglary of a conveyance with a firearm, And then I have 8330 twice. That's the same case. All right, was the state able to get additional information?
Your Honor, the 8330 is the additional information, so
So what's the factual basis for the 23 cars? Where is that?
no, Your Honor, it was amended to the charges that you read previously, the petty theft, burglary conveyance, the one count of burglary to an occupied dwelling, criminal mischief, and the attempted burglary of a conveyance, 8 counts.
I have 2 cases still. Are you saying there's only 1 case?
It's the one case, Your Honor.
So the clerk of courts has 2 cases that are open. Not 1. Right?
Your Honor, I know that I received an affidavit this morning. It's the one, as I said again, it's the 7 counts of petty theft, 3 counts of burglary of a conveyance, 1 count occupied dwelling, 8 counts of criminal mischief, and 8 counts of attempted burglary of a conveyance.
All right, so what is the state intending to do with the other case number that is still open in the clerk system then?
I will. Your Honor, I believe there was an issue with probable cause as to the other open case. And I'll leave it at the court's discretion as to whether or not PC was found or not.
No. I'm not going to ROR him on 30 counts because the state of Florida has 2 cases that they don't know what to do with. All right.
Can we approach, Your Honor?
Can we bring, yeah, and then we'll bring him and his co-defendant back? Tell me your name again, sir.
Giovanni Brown.
All right. I don't know how the state is going to do the case numbers with the clerk, but for now, after reviewing 8330 and 8237, there is probable cause. I've already appointed an attorney to represent you.
Yes, ma'am.
On 8330, your bond will be $100 on each count of petty theft, $1,000 on each count of burglary of a conveyance, $5,000 on the burglary of an occupied dwelling, $1,000 on each attempted burglary of a conveyance, and $500 on each attempted criminal mischief. And then in 8237, wait.
I have a question.
Yes,
So the charges you were just reading out, them new charges they adding?
some of them are, some of them are not. What really should have happened is when the police officer submitted a supplemental report, it should have just been a supplemental report that went into the existing case. But instead, somehow it got a new case number, so it looks like you have 2 cases, but it really should be 1. But that leads me to, I need to ask the attorneys. We have the armed burglary of a conveyance with a firearm. Is that a punishable by life offense?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
That'll be no bond. I didn't do the grand thefts of the vehicles yet. So we have 3 counts of grand theft of a motor vehicle, that's correct. 1 count of grand theft of a firearm. Okay, so the motor vehicle grand thefts will be $1,000 each. 237. Do you want me to do it?
Is it 237 or 273?
I have 273, you're right. No, we're starting at the bottom. It's at the bottom for some reason. Armed burglary of a conveyance with a firearm, no bond. I don't know why that should be the top, because that's the most serious offense. And then the grand theft motor vehicle is $1,000 each count, so there's 3 of those. Grand theft of a firearm, 500, there's only 1 count. Is it 23 other burg conveyances?
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize, Your Honor. What's the bond amount for the firearm theft? Thank you.
So there's 26 total burg conveyances. Because
Yes,
there's
Your Honor.
3 in the new one and 23 in this one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What did I set the bond at? Was it 1,000
Yes, for the.
for each burg conveyance? Okay. Same thing in this case. It'll be $1,000 on each burg conveyance. And is there a second burglary of an occupied dwelling? I recall 1.
I think there were two because I think there was 2 cars that were inside the garage that were burglarized.
There were 2 in the garage.
Yes. I believe, Your Honor.
Because I remember 1. Let me go back. I don't know if that's right. In both of the probable cause affidavits, it has the exact same line about the burg dwelling.
I see the Maserati was inside the dwelling, was in the garage, and there was another one.
Okay. What's the other one?
The Toyota CHR was stolen from within the garage.
All right. What did I set the bond on the burglary of an occupied dwelling? 5,000? It'll be 5,000 in this one as well. All right, sir. As a condition of your bond, you're not allowed to have contact with any victims, witnesses in the case, or your co-defendants. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition, and you can't return to any of these victims' homes. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir. You got it? I'm gonna do the exact same thing in the next one. Because it's the co-defendant.
I stay here.
Can I see it though, so it's just easier for me to call it out? Please tell me your name.
Tariq Moen.
All right, you're here in 2 cases now. 21 CF 8329 and 21 CF 8272. There is probable cause. I've appointed an attorney in your other case, but I'll appoint them in this case as well. I'm going to tell you your bonds, and all of your bond conditions will be the same as your co-defendants. You're not allowed to have contact with any victim, witness, or co-defendant in the case. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You can't return to any of your victims' residences. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. All right, so your bond will be $100 as to each count of petty theft. $1,000 on each count of burglary of a conveyance. $5,000 on each count of burglary of an occupied dwelling. $1,000 on each of the criminal mischief counts. $1,000 on each of the attempted burglary of a conveyance counts. $500 on grand theft of a firearm. And no bond as to armed burglary of a conveyance with a firearm. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Khalil Bathay.
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Good morning, Counselor. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Please put your appearance on record.
This is Dione Talkington Fletcher for Khalil Bethea.
A warrant was issued for your arrest, sir, in 21 CF 5423, charging you with aggravated assault with a firearm and battery domestic violence. Another judge has already found probable cause in this case. Counselor, did you wish to be heard on bond?
I did, Your Honor. Mr. Bethea and I met with the Orange County Sheriff's Office on May 9th. We met with the Orlando Police Department on May 11th. I provided significant exculpatory material and reports to the state attorney on 5/19. And then when we became aware that this matter was not going to be dropped, my client turned himself in yesterday. So he is not a flight risk. He has significant ties to the area. His significant other and children, mother, brother, aunts, uncles, cousins, et cetera, et cetera. His entire family is in Orlando. The only other pending, I think he has a red light ticket outstanding, which is set for a hearing on the 23rd.
He also has a
Other than
driving
that-
while license suspended charge for which he's out on bond.
The state attorney communicated with me verbally that he was planning on dismissing that because his license is now reinstated.
Does the state
All
have
I
any
have
notes
is
to that?
verbal. The state attorney is Stephen Pena, Your Honor.
I'm just asking if the state here has any notes about that.
This is in with regard to a driving with license suspended?
Yes, 20 CT 6315. He's out on bond for that charge. So I'm inclined to revoke his bond. But Ms. Fletcher just said that the state communicated they were intending to drop that.
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with Mr. Pena on Friday, Friday, July 9th, and he told me that if I would upload proof of Mr. Bethea's reinstated driver's license, he would dismiss the ticket. I have done that, but obviously I know how busy the workload is, and that just hasn't gotten done yet. I have no reason to doubt his veracity.
At this time, Your Honor, it hasn't been done. At this time, it hasn't been done, Your Honor, and I don't see any notes regarding that. That's not to say that it didn't happen, that the conversation didn't take place. It's just I don't have any indication in case management.
All right, based on counsel's representations, I won't revoke that at this time. And I'm sorry, Counselor, did you ask for a specific bond?
I did not, Your Honor. Reasonable bond, whatever the court believes. I think my client could post a $5,000 bond.
I reviewed the affidavit for this warrant, even though another judge had already found probable cause, and the allegations are incredibly violent and dangerous, including involving a child.
Your Honor, again, we met with, my client is certainly not hiding. We met with law enforcement at Mr. Bethea's request on May 9th and again on May 11th. and significant exculpatory material was provided to the state attorney's office. Obviously, I don't want to go into the specific facts of the matter here. I don't, if the court would wish to impose additional reporting requirements.
All right, what says the state?
Your Honor, not only were the allegations in this case somewhat violent, there is history that he has had history with the same victim, but there was a declination to prosecute, and also a different victim. And as you said, there was a child involved in this. So I'm not asking for no bond, but I am asking for an incredibly high bond, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just to provide the court some background, the complainant in this case has also been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon on Mr. Bethea. You may or may not have already seen her. The defendant in that case is Khadijah Thomas.
I have not.
And the case number is 21 CF 5573.
I don't think she's on for today. Oh, she's next? Oh, I don't have her. Oh, there she is. All right, at this time, I'll grant your motion, Counselor. Sir, your bond will be $5,000 on count one, 100 on count two. With special conditions, you can't have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. You can't be within 1,000 feet of her residence, and I'll order her to do the same with yours. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir. Thank you, Counselor. Thank your attorney. She did a great job for you today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
All right, have a nice day.
Thank you.
I have Richard Scott next.
He's in the hospital, Your Honor.
All right, 21 CF 8346. Ms. George, I'll appoint your office.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
There's probable cause. I'll stay the bonds at 2,500 on count one, 100 on count two, 500 on count three. No victim contact, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Maintain separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement. Please tell me your name.
Deja Thomas.
21 CF 5573, a warrant was issued for your arrest, charging you with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Another judge has already found probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond will be $2,500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to be within 1,000 feet of his residence. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Good luck, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Right, Matthias.
21 CF 8303. You're here charged with aggravated assault, domestic violence, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to testify, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Larry Holmes.
Spell your last name.
HOLMES.
I'll let the state ask you some questions.
Morning, Mr. Holmes. How do you know the defendant?
Girlfriend?
Are you afraid of her?
No, ma'am.
Has something like this happened before?
No, ma'am.
If it happened again, would you be willing to call the police?
Yes, ma'am.
While this case is pending, would you like to have contact with her?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Defense?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, your bond is going to be $1,000 on count one, $100 on count two. Nope, that's backwards. It should be $1,000 on count two. That should be the first charge. And 100 on count two. Count one. Oh my gosh.
It's you said a.
Maybe we could talk to them about putting the most serious charge as count one.
Yes.
With special conditions, at this time, you can't have any contact with him. Do you understand what no contact means? I can't hear you.
I don't understand why though.
Because the allegations are that you chased him with a knife and also struck him. So at this time, you can't have any contact with him. You understand what that means?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Just a moment. Do you understand what that means? Thank you. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. You must maintain a separate residence, and I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. Yes, sir.
She never struck me with any knife, so I don't know where they get that from.
So what's in the affidavit is that you had a laceration on your forearm, approximately 1 inch in length,
Yeah, but that didn't come from Lawanda.
and on the back of your hand.
No, that didn't come from Lawanda.
I understand what you're telling me here today, but that's different than what I'm reading.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that what you guys need to do is take some time apart. You talk to your lawyer, he'll talk to the state of Florida. If the state of Florida is going to make a charging decision, whether they're even going to go forward with this case, that's completely up to the state. So you talk to the state, she'll talk to her attorney, and maybe after some time apart, everyone can calm down and another judge will either change my order or maybe the state will even drop it. I don't know. That's up to them.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? Thank you for coming. Good luck, ma'am.
See, that's
Yes.
me and my kid's home. He can stay with his mother. Me and my kids are.
Ma'am, this court doesn't have jurisdiction over him at all. I only have jurisdiction over you.
Saying, you
So-
said I can return to my home?
No, I said you have to maintain a separate residence.
Oh, okay.
So if he's there, you can't be there.
Okay.
But if he leaves, you can be there. I'm not saying you can't go back. I'm just saying you can't live with him.
Okay,
You understand? Okay. So if he is living there, then you can go back one time with law enforcement to gather your belongings. But if he leaves, you can stay.
okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck. Please tell me your name.
Julius Adams.
21MM 4884. You're here charged with battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. You can't have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, I don't want contact anyway.
All right. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Good luck, sir. Please. Okay. Please tell me your name.
This is Rafat Al-Naji.
Are you able to hear me?
I heard you.
Did you say yes?
I said spell your name. So
I can't hear him.
this is Rafat Al-Naji.
And you're able to hear me?
Yeah. I hear
Okay.
you well.
You're here in 21MM 4879, charged with 2 counts of battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Ma'am, do you wish to testify?
They told me it was better if I come here, yes. They told,
I don't know who told you that. You don't have to be here and you don't have to testify. That's completely up to you.
yes, I would like to testify.
Okay, please raise your right hand.
Do you swear to tell the truth,
Look at me.
whole truth, and nothing
Not
but the
you.
truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Lori Alnaizy, A-L-N-A-I-Z-Y.
I'm going to let the prosecutor ask you some questions.
Okay.
Good morning. How do you know the defendant?
He's my husband for 27 years.
Has something like this happened before?
He has problems, yes, with some anger issues and some just becoming very angry. Yes,
Was alcohol or drugs involved in this incident?
never.
Sir, wait. Sir, look at me. You look at me. Go ahead.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Something like this were to happen again, would you be willing to call the police?
Yes.
And while this case is pending, do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Defense?
No question, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so
I'm sorry? Did you want to say something else?
I just want to know what happens now.
Hold on one second, I'll tell him, I'm going to give him a bond and special bond conditions. So you can stay right there so you can hear it.
I don't request bond if I have any, I don't fear him,
I understand.
okay?
At this time, sir, your bond is $5,000 on count 1 and $1,000 on count 2. You're not allowed to have any contact with any of the victims or the witnesses in this case. Do you understand what no contact means?
I didn't understand. I heard you, but I didn't understand.
Okay, no contact means you can't call your wife on the phone, you can't speak to her, you can't see her, you can't send a text message to her, or the 2 children who were present, one of whom is also a victim. You understand, you can't speak to them, you can't send a message through friends or family, you can't contact them on social media. This is no contact at all. Do you understand that?
For how long?
Until another judge changes my order.
I will do it.
Okay. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'll order that you must maintain a separate residence, but I will allow you to return one time with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You cannot coordinate that visit with her. Do you understand that? You coordinate it with law enforcement. I need you to answer.
Yes.
All right. Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Are there what?
I was asking the prosecutor if she has any other conditions that she would request the court to impose, and she said no. All right, ma'am, do you understand?
I don't understand what no contact means because we share a residence together and he has nowhere else to go,
At this time, he cannot share that residence with you. He has to find another place.
okay?
He can't speak to you, he can't see you, he can't call you on the phone, he can have no contact with you.
He has a flight that to leave and go back to work in 2 weeks. Will we be able to resolve this before then?
That's highly unlikely, but he'll speak with his attorney, and you can speak with the state attorney about what the state intends to do with your case, with his case. But these cases typically take 90 days to resolve.
Because it is for work. He's going back for work and.
Back where?
Overseas, Saudi Arabia. He works in Saudi Arabia and it's possibly going to cost him his job if he leaves that long. And I don't want to see that happen to us.
Yeah. Y'all have to work on that. I'm thinking about whether that's a sufficient amount of bond to secure his presence back here.
It is. He's never been in trouble with the law.
Yeah.
He's highly educated. He has a PhD from a prestigious American university. He's always been a good person. He just needs to, I just want him to learn to control his anger.
Well, perhaps this is a good wake-up call.
I know we can work on it. I know we can. We've been together for 27 years. I know we can work on it.
Well, that'll be up to him. Good luck, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck. Please tell me your name.
Anthony Honor, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You're here in 21 MM 4829, charged with violation of a domestic injunction and violation of condition of pretrial release on a domestic violence case. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. These cases are really difficult to set bond because the very nature of the charge demonstrates that your client is unable or unwilling to comply with court orders. So I'm struggling to find reasonable conditions of bond in this case. If you can give me some ideas.
Your Honor, based on the arrest affidavit, when you read it, it appears that my client stated to the police officer that the reason he was there was because he had nowhere to go. This isn't a situation where he went back and harmed the alleged victim. A lot of times they live together, and sometimes, even though it is violating the court order, they're transient, they have no other place to live, and they will go back as opposed to being homeless. I would just ask that you consider, because he did not harm her again, that you give him the opportunity to stay away and place him on a bond amount that you find sufficient, Your Honor. I think that if you place him on an additional bond amount, that will be sufficient to prevent him from going back to see her again.
Mr. Honor, you have a job?
Yes, ma'am. I work at the Cheesecake Factory. We've been there for like 3 years now as a server/bartender.
And you work full-time?
Full time. I work 40 hours a week, hard working. Sometimes pulling doubles 3 times out the week. So, you know, I'm supposed to be working at 12 today. I'm gonna have to call him when I leave out of here.
All right. Does the state wish to be heard on bond?
No, Your Honor.
I don't see a lengthy criminal history, and I see 0 failures to appear.
Yes, Your Honor.
He says he has a job, he works full-time.
Hard working.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do, sir. Your bond on count 1 will be $500. Your bond on count 2 will be $100. Based on your attorney's arguments, I am going to give you that shot that she asked for. Don't come back and see me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that the injunction is still in place. You have to follow all of those conditions. I'm also ordering you that you can't have contact with the victim. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't do this again, because you'd come back and likely see me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck. I
Thank you
hope
so
you make
much.
it to work today.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name. 21MM4878. You're here charged with 2 counts of battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause. Sir, do you wish to testify?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Brett Kiefer, Keiffer.
I'm going to let the prosecutor ask you some questions.
Good morning, Mr. Kiefer.
Good morning.
How do you know the defendant?
He's my son.
Has something like this happened before?
One other time,
Were drugs or alcohol involved in either incident?
probably.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
While this case is pending, would you like to have contact with him?
Yes.
And should something like this happen again, would you be willing to call the police?
Absolutely.
I have no further questions.
Ms. George?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Kiefer, at this time, your bond will be $500 on count 1, $100 on count 2. Because your father is here and testified, I'll allow you to have peaceful contact with him. Do you understand what peaceful contact means?
I do not, Your Honor.
You can't, it means no hostile contact. You can't even raise your voice. No yelling, no throwing things, no hitting, peaceful only.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition.
Yes, ma'am.
The other victim, however, was not here present to testify, so at this time, I'm ordering that you're not allowed to have any contact with your sister. Do you understand what no contact means?
I do, but if you could go over it, that would be great.
You can't speak to her, you can't call her on the phone, you can't send a text message, you can't send a message to your sister through your father.
Okay.
That's contact, no contact.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because of that, I'm ordering that you must maintain a separate residence, and I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You understand? So you can't live in the same house with your sister.
She does not live with us. I live with my parents.
As long as she doesn't live there, you can live there.
Okay.
I'm just ordering you have to maintain a separate residence.
Understood.
All right, good luck, sir. Thank you, sir, for
Thank you
coming.
very much.
Oh, and no drugs, no alcohol. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Sign?
Please tell me your name.
Juanita Murphy.
21MM4860. You're here charged with battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. She qualifies for pretrial release. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Hold on, is there a witness in this case? Sir, do you wish to testify?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Percy Lewis Johnson, Johnsson.
Go ahead, state.
Good morning, Mr. Johnson. How do you know the defendant?
My wife.
Has something like this happened before?
Now we argue and that's it, but not like this.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
No, we were just like drinking, like hanging out like a family get together.
Okay. Are you afraid of her?
No, that's my wife. We're like common law married. We sleep together, work together, basically do everything together.
You said common law. How long have you been together?
Shoot, 17 years?
While this case is pending, would you like to have contact with her?
Yes.
And if something like this happened again, would you be willing to call the police?
I didn't even call the police. Nothing ever happened to me. I don't even know why she's in jail. I was never hit, never touched her, nothing by her.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I have no further questions.
Ms. George?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You can only have peaceful contact with the victim. Do you understand what peaceful contact means?
Ma'am, can you explain it?
Yes, ma'am. No hostile contact. You can't raise your voice, you can't throw things, you can't hit him, none of those things.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said you want her to come home.
Yes.
I'm not going to order separate residences or anything like that. However, ma'am, you can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, sir. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Yatzae Rosario de Luca.
21MM4876. You're here charged with battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to testify?
No.
All right. She qualifies for pretrial release. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You can't have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Excuse me, can I ask something? Is there any way, because the person that called me yesterday said if you come here, you could waive the no contact. And
So I just asked if you wanted to testify, and you said no.
oh, I didn't know,
Do you want to?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your
Christopher
last
Sedhom.
name.
SIDHOM.
Are those sunglasses prescription?
Yeah.
Go ahead, state.
Good morning. How do you know the defendant?
Girlfriend.
Has something like this happened before?
No.
Are you afraid of her?
Nope.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
Tell me your name one more time.
Yatzae Rosario de Luca.
All right, so this is 21MM4876. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions that you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't call him on the phone. You can't send a message to friends or family. You can't contact him on social media. Nothing. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. Were you two living together?
Yeah, Your Honor, then why
Just a moment.
Yeah.
All right, you can't live together at this time. I'll order you must maintain a separate residence, and I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. Yes, sir. Is there something else you'd like to say?
Yeah, why was I told yesterday that if I came, I could waive the no contact visit?
I have no idea. I don't know who told you that.
Whoever called me yesterday, they said if you don't show up, they're gonna do a no contact order. If you do show up, you could say you could waive the no contact order. Now, the
I
reason.
don't know who told you that, but that's not true.
Whoever
You
called me.
testified that you wanted contact. I heard your testimony.
Yeah.
But after reading the affidavit and weighing everything that I have to weigh at this time, I'm ordering no contact.
Well, the affidavit, the statement, you mean? The statement? The statement?
The probable cause affidavit is what I review before court.
Well, after I wrote that statement, mind you, we had just woken up, so I was a little cloudy. All right, now after I made that statement, all right, to the best of my recollection, all right, the cop came back and told me that some of the information was wrong. After he reviewed the camera, he said some of the info, and like I said, I was trying to go to the best of recollection, had just woken up, but he had told me some of the information that I had wrote down was incorrect, okay, because he had watched it on the camera. So I really wouldn't take like some of the statements, I don't have a lot of faith in it for the strength, just for the simple fact that when he watched the camera, he seen that there was a lot of inconsistencies with that.
All right, sir. Whether the state prosecutes this is up to the state of Florida, and you can have contact with them and tell them whatever you want them to know. But at this time, I'm not going to amend my order, so she's not allowed to have contact with you. You understand?
Okay.
All right, thank you for coming. Good luck, sir. Good luck, ma'am. Would pretrial release be who called him? Perhaps if anyone in pretrial release is advising people that they can waive the no contact, maybe they shouldn't. I don't know if we are, or if that was his interpretation of what they said, but nope, you can't. Sir, please tell me your name.
James Anderson.
All right, good morning, Mr. Anderson. You have a warrant out of St. Lucie County for failing to maintain your sex offender reporting requirements. At this time, there's no bond on that. In case number 20 CF 1410, we'll notify them that you're here so they can transport you, but I'm also going to appoint the public defender's office so you have an attorney representing you.
Yes, ma'am. This is
Don't talk
the
about-
second time this has happened. I had a public defender the first time this happened. His name is Hooper, Steve Hooper from the public defender's office.
Okay?
I got out when I was down there. I got out. He never contacted me. I tried to call him, I don't know how many times. Every time I called him, he was either in court or he'll get back with us. I was in St. Lucie County because I was in a facility. Every time I go to a facility, I have to ask those people where I'm at to make sure that they let the county know that I'm there.
Right.
I'm dependent on them. Once I got out of there, I really don't know where I'm at. I'm from New Jersey originally. I've only been down here a little while. It's not that I'm not trying to register, because I register everywhere I go. I'm a veteran. I mostly lived in Broward County and Miami-Dade. I just now finally found a place, because Miami and Broward County are not friendly to me. I'll just put it that way. I was told that this county is the best county for people, for myself to come to. I finally made it up here, went to register yesterday, and found out that I got a warrant out of St. Lucie County. I finally found a place up here that I can live without fear of somebody in the neighborhood coming saying, you gotta go. Because that's what's been happening to me since I've been down here in Florida. That's why it's hard for me to register, because everywhere I go, I can't seem to stay somewhere without having to move. I've lived on the street. I've actually had people come up to me in a store and say, we know who you are. We don't want you in this neighborhood. the people who put Megan's Law and this registration together, and I'm not trying to preach, and I'm sure you got other things to do, they really didn't think this through. Because for somebody like me, I can't find a place to stay. Every time I get somewhere, like if I'm in a hospital, I'm a veteran. I might have to stay in a hospital for two or three weeks, maybe even a couple months. I was in a program for 90 days. During that time, while I'm in these, I have to depend on somebody else to register. But I have registered myself. Broward County. I can't even remember some of the counties I am. But now I just found a place that's friendly to me. I can live there for the rest of my life if I want. I don't have to worry about it. But I got to get this thing cleared up with St. Lucie County.
So I believe what you're telling me, but I can't change it because it's a warrant out of another county signed by another judge.
I understand.
But what I'm going to do is ask Ms. George if you can make some notes for your colleagues, and if we can get a public defender from up here to communicate with St. Lucie County, because maybe there is something that can be done to resolve it. And it sounds like it's one of those things where he keeps kind of falling through the cracks. So if we can get two attorneys to communicate on his behalf, that might help resolve this quicker.
Okay, thank you.
So I appointed a public defender up here. I'm gonna see if I can get this office to work with that office and see if together they can work something out to help you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, yes, sir, good luck.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Colleen Falk.
You have a warrant out of Seminole County and 21 CF 1676 for driving while license suspended, $500 bond, fleeing or attempting to elude, $8,000 bond, no motorcycle endorsement, $263 bond. Very specific bond amount. We'll notify them that you're here, but you have a bond, so you can bond out on those charges.
I believe I've already bonded out on Orange County. Is there any way that Seminole County can come get me quicker because my father is very sick and he's dying and I can't, because there was a mess up yesterday and I had to wait. When Seminole County came this morning to get the girls, I couldn't go with them and I may have to wait another week, but my father is deathly sick and I don't want to wait another week.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry about your father. There's nothing I can do to speed up Seminole County. So, I don't know if there's, do you know how often they come? Okay, so you don't have to wait a full week. They'll be back.
And the felony that I have here in Orange County, the habitual, last year when I was in court, or 2019, when I had got that charge, they made a mistake in the courtroom, which habitualized me, which it shouldn't have been habitualized. And the Judge Herr, was fixing it in court. However, it hadn't made it to Tallahassee, I guess, yet to fix it because I shouldn't be a habitual. This time would habitualize me, yes, but I wouldn't be a habitual already. Does that make you understand what I'm saying?
It does, but I don't have that case, so there's nothing I can do about that one either.
Okay, so I have to fix that in Seminole County to fix it here?
If it's an Orange County case, it has to be resolved here.
Well, they habitualized me in Seminole County, but it was a mix-up because it was my second, not my third.
Then Seminole County has to fix that too.
Okay.
Do you have an attorney up there?
I will.
Okay. Talk to your attorney right away.
Okay.
I'm sorry, good luck.
I am bonded out of Orange County.
I don't know. Yes. Devin Gertman bonded.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Michael Boyd Glancy.
21 MM 27485. A warrant was issued for your arrest out of Brevard County for, it says it's a capias, for a petty theft charge. Bond is $2,000. And resisting recovery of merchandise, the bond is $1,000. We'll notify them that you're here, but if you're able to post the bond, you can.
When did this happen?
I don't know. I don't have that date. I don't have the capias, so I can't tell you that.
I was checking in with probation and I was arrested. I don't even.
It just says capias reference petty theft. I'm sorry, I don't know, but I'm not gonna revoke his out-of-bond cases. Good luck, sir.
So what do I do?
They're gonna come and get you.
Bond out?
You can, you have those bonds. So you can bond out if you are able to, but if not, they'll come and transport you.
Joseph, he refused court.
All right, 2009 CF. I don't know, 799.
I'll waive, oh, point.
It's an out-of-county warrant, but there is no bond. I'll appoint your office, Ms. George.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, there's no bond. Joseph? Who? I don't have that. I have Reyes Hernandez. Please tell me your name.
Reyes?
All right, so it looks like this is an Osceola case. It's an over-the-line arrest for fleeing or attempting to elude, operating a motor vehicle without a license, and failing to register a motor vehicle. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you, and Osceola will come and get you. Good luck. Please tell me your name.
Devon Francis Speller.
You have a warrant out of Pinellas County
Yes.
for failure to appear on a violation of probation. Your bond is $10,013. Also a very specific bond. And then also out of Pinellas County, you have a warrant for failure to appear on a violation of probation for a DUI. Is that the same warrant?
No, it's a different case.
The bond is the exact same, $10,013.
It's two different ones. Yeah.
All right. You have two different warrants with two very specific and odd bond amounts. So we'll notify Pinellas County that you're here so they can come and get you.
Okay.
Good luck, sir.
Your Honor, before we get too far, the Reyes Hernandez we just mentioned, the fleeing and eluding, I see a bond amount on here. I don't know if I'm looking at the wrong thing. Because it's a fleeing and eluding, I believe you have to set the bond. They come in at no bond.
Hold on a second.
You know it's Osceola?
Fleeing and eluding always comes in. Like, I'm looking at the arrest affidavit, it's showing 500 for the,
I didn't realize it was at no bond. $10,000, and I'll stay the other two. Thank you, Counselor. Please tell me your name. A warrant was issued for your arrest in 15 CF 4983 for violating your probation by changing your residence without getting permission, by failing to comply with your curfew, and also, again, failing to comply with your curfew. There's no bond authorized on that. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Is this battery for which he's out on bond different? I'm going to revoke his bond on that as well. 20 CF 20 MM 6654. I'm revoking that bond. You want to contact your attorney right away?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was the out-on-bond case number?
I'm sorry?
The out-on-bond case number, you said an MM case? I have a.
Yeah, it was a CF, and then it says filed as an MM. I don't know which one it is. Is it filed as a CF or an MM?
I'm gonna check right now.
I don't use this at all. This is not helpful.
I don't understand.
Even right. do I just look at this?
Are you on probation for it?
I still see it as the CF case, Your Honor.
All right, so the CF case number is the correct one?
Yes.
All right, I'm revoking your bond on that. Good luck, sir. I don't think this is Jessica Scott.
He refused.
All right. I find her refusal a willing waiver for appearance today. I'll appoint an attorney to represent her. She has a violation of probation and a new law violation. There's probable cause in 21 CF 8337. I'll stay the bond at $3,500. No return, no victim contact. And there's, the bond on the VOP is $1,000. What's your name, sir?
Gene Sylvester.
All right, you're here because a capias was issued for your arrest in 17 CF 2620 for failing to appear for a status hearing on a charge of grand theft. There's no bond authorized on that capias, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. You also have a warrant on a violation of probation in 17 CF 2620. It is the same case. Violating by changing your residence without first procuring the consent of your probation officer. There's no bond authorized on that, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you in that case as well. Good luck. Please tell me your name.
Tyrone Tony.
All right, 21 CF 8339, you're here charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. At this time, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Ms. George, did you have any arguments to make in this one? I don't think there are, but,
I don't have any. No.
okay, I just wanted to give you the opportunity. Right, okay. There is probable cause. I'll stay your bond at $4,000 on count 1 and 2, $1,000 on count 3 or 4. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription, possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition, or have contact with any known drug dealers. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And then a warrant was issued for your arrest in 17 CF 10117 for violating your probation by committing the criminal offense of aggravated stalking on or about June 26th, 2021. There's no bond authorized on this, and I'll appoint an attorney. Also by failing to make restitution payments and failing to pay the investigative cost as ordered. And then in 21 CF 7600, a warrant was issued for your arrest, charging you with aggravated stalking with a credible threat, burglary of an occupied dwelling. Another judge has already found probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you in this one as well.
Excuse me, Judge.
I'm sorry, what? All right, your bond is $5,000 on count 1, $5,000 on count 2. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim, and you're not allowed to return to the scene for any reason. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir.
No.
Please tell me your name.
Marlon Peñuela.
A warrant was issued for your arrest in 18 MM 4069 for violating your probation by failing to keep appointments scheduled in September and October, failing to pay, failing to complete a mental health evaluation, and failing to enroll in the Batterers Intervention Program. There's no bond authorized on this warrant, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
This one? Can we bring back Mr. Contreras? Tell me your name again, sir.
Juan Gutierrez.
All right. This was the warrant out of Polk County. You also have 2019 CF 11954, for which you are currently out on bond. At this time, I'm revoking your bond in that case. Good luck, sir. That's all I needed to do in that one, right? Anything else before court is in recess?
Oh, Your Honor, are we appointed on that case? Or just, since he's being held at no bond?
On the 19 case, he should already have an attorney.
Okay, I don't.
I mean, it's from 19.
Mm-hmm.
Is the PD on that case? Does anyone know? Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Court's in recess.
Travis Jackson in two cases, 2021 CF 2740 and 2021 CF 6943.
2740 was no billed July 15th, 2021.
Granted.
6943 should be granted notice of non-filing.
All right, so both are granted.
Yes.
All right. We don't have any Spanish, do we? We're gonna have to wait. So they're gonna have to wait to one. Are they in the front here? Okay. All right. That's after we're gonna wait till 1 o'clock for the Spanish. So I'll do your move ups and then we'll go after that. All right, here we go. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Daniel D'Amato.
Mr. DeMonte, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CF 8335 AO and 2021 CF 834 AO. Both of those are charges of grand theft. Judges signing your warrants in your cases did review the charging affidavit in your cases, did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to stay your bonds in both cases amount of $1,000, conditioning your bonds that you have no contact with any victims or witnesses, and no return to the scene of the location. You are out on bond for another theft in 2021 CF 1472 AO. In that case, of course, going.
Your Honor, in that case, he's been deemed incompetent to proceed. His most recent evaluation was June 2nd of 2021 by Dr. Aries.
So in that case, the judge has already ruled him to be incompetent to proceed, or just?
Yes, he's in comp proceedings.
And he's on
He didn't meet the requirements for commitment, Your Honor.
no, I'm saying, is he on conditional release? What is he supposed to be doing?
Yes. Looks like he was ordered comp. So it looks like, it looks like, Your Honor, that the court ordered a competency evaluation to be done. And it looks like they have a status coming up. The evaluation did come back stating that he wasn't competent.
So
However, Your Honor.
The court hasn't
Has
actually
not
entered
deemed
a
him.
order.
Mhm.
All right, well, until that happens, the court's going to revoke that bond in case 2021 CF 1472 AO. Gonna set him in no bond. represent you, on plate to put a public defender represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Well, sorry, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
George.
Mr. Gritman, you're here in case 2021 CF 6771 AO for 10 counts of sexual battery with a weapon, with a deadly weapon or with physical force. You also here for 5 counts of attempted sexual battery with a weapon or deadly force, 2 counts of aggravated battery, and 1 count of home invasion robbery with a weapon, and 1 count of attempted home invasion robbery with a weapon. The judge signed your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. State, what do you say to the, I believe, 10 counts of sexual battery with a weapon?
Those offenses are PBLs, Your Honor. I would ask for no bond.
I think home invasion is with a weapon as well as.
It's also a PBL, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. All right. And we're going to put a public defender to represent you, sir, Ms. George.
No argument, Your Honor. We reserve the right to have an argument.
All right, that's your 10 counts of sexual battery with a weapon. The court's going to hold you at no bond. That's your 1 count of home invasion robbery with a weapon. The court's going to hold you at no bond. I'm sorry, madam. This to me, the way they did this affidavit. All right, so I'll try to do it like this. In counts 1 and 2, no bond. Counts 4, no bond. Count 5, no bond. Count 7, no bond. Count 9, no bond. Count 10, no bond. Count 11, no bond. Count 14, no bond. Count 16, no bond. And count 19, no bond. As the counts 3, I'm going to set your bond amount of $100,000. Count 6, $100,000. Count 8, $100,000. Count 17, $100,000, and count 18, $100,000. That's your aggravated battery counts. And counts 12, I'm going to set your bond amount of $5,000, and in count 15, $5,000. And in count 13, you're going to set your bond amount of $50,000. I think that should be all the counts, correct? All right. Condition of your bond is you have no contact with any victims or witnesses in this case. That you have no contact, you not return to the scene of the location of any of these instances. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And no contact with any of these victims' families. And if you have 48 hours from the time if you ever are released in this case to report to the sheriff's office as a violent sexual predator or sexual offender. You have a great day, sir. All right, this case 2021 CF 8342 AO on charge. Mr. Henderson's on here on charge of battery on a person 65 years or older. Want to appoint the public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance.
I'm going to state his bonds in amount of $2,500. Condition of the bond: no return to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Angela Denise Moore.
Ms. Moore, you're here in case 2021 CF 8306 AO for a charge of burglary of an occupied dwelling and criminal mischief. They reviewed this charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. We'll set your bond in count 1 amount of $10,000. Count 2, want to stay at $150,000. Condition of the bond: no contact with any victims or witnesses. No return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Now, Ms. Davis, I do have a question, because you guys put this in on here as a first appearance detainer for the case she's on probation for.
Yeah, because she got booked in her last arrest, and she was RR'd on the charge, so it's basically like a,
On her violation of probation?
Mhm.
So there's already an active probation case going.
yes.
So how's her active violation of probation case going?
She was arrested on May 16th of 2021 for a violation of probation.
Okay.
And on July the 9th, she was RR'd on the charge.
All right, ma'am, you were released on your own recognizance on a violation of probation in case 2020 CF 6629AO. We're going to revoke that RR on this case. Ma'am, you are considered with the law to be a violent felony offender of special concern. You're not going to be entitled to any more releases on your violation of probation until your case goes to hearing. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your matters. You have a great day, ma'am.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask Ms. George a question, because everything you asked me is on the record. Spanish. All right. Spanish is after 1. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
It's Israel Fuentes.
Mr. Fuentes, you are here in case 2021 MM 4874AO on charge of trespass on property after warning. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Ms. George, was he resolving all his cases or just a trespass? Did the city already file on this MO case?
Can you see if there's a,
1 moment, Your Honor.
He's out.
Oh, actually, I won't be able to tell.
okay. Your Honor, as far as the trespass, because I don't know if they can resolve it.
Yeah, I just want to, let's just hold on for a second and see if the
Okay,
city
I'll go
filed
over
it.
it with him.
Sunshine, can you see if the city filed on this Allen Bond case 2021 MO 742AO?
See, because you have this one that you.
All right, so we can't resolve it anyways. The city hasn't filed. All right, so Mr. Fuentes, if you want to resolve your trespass case, you can today. I'm not going to take any action on your Allen Bond case. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Help me, God. Thank you.
All right, put your hand down, sir. Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 4874AO on charge of trespass after warning. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case today?
No contents.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that you're looking at right now? Do you understand my question?
Oh, no.
Did you read the plea form that's in front of you? There's a piece of paper in front of you.
Okay.
Did you read it?
No, I haven't had.
All right. Well, that form says that if you want to enter a plea of no contest, you have to waive your right to have a trial. You have to waive your right to have an attorney appointed to represent you at that trial. You have to waive your right to challenge the state's evidence and quality witnesses on your behalf and question the state's witnesses. You're also going to waive your right to remain silent. You're going to waive your right to appeal any errors in this case. Do you understand you're waiving all those rights if you want to enter a plea of no contest? I can't hear you.
No contents.
You understand that you're waiving all those rights to enter that plea, though, of no contest? It's a yes or no question.
No, no,
You don't understand?
no. Okay, yes, yes.
Okay. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No,
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
no,
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
no,
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
oh, no. I'm an American citizen.
That's fine. I did review your charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'll accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I will adjudicate you guilty of the charge and give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
This is not.
Gray's mental health.
All right. This 2021 MM4875AO, Mr. Graves here was arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I did find probable cause for his arrest, going to release him on mental health pretrial release in this case. If he does not qualify for mental health pretrial release, I'm going to set a bond amount of $50. Condition of the bond, no return to the scene of the location. All right. All right. All right, this is 2021 MM4885AO on a charge of trespass on a structure conveyance for Mr. Scott. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I'm also going to release Mr. Scott on mental health pretrial release in this case. If he does not qualify for mental health pretrial release, I'm also going to set his bond at an amount of $50. Condition of his bond, not return to the scene, the location, have no contact with any victims or witnesses. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Kenyatta Walker.
Mr. Walker, you're here in case 2021 MM4881AO on charge of trespass on property after warning. That I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Looks like you may want to resolve your case this afternoon. Is that correct?
Sir.
Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, you're here again on 2021 MM4881AO on charge of trespass after warning. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case with the court today?
No contest.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on that plea form that's in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
I did have an opportunity to review your charging affidavit. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'll accept your plea of no contest. Find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I want to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Bishop.
Mr. Bishop, you are here in case 2021 MM4893 AO on a charge of resisting officer violence. I did review the charging affidavit. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Say, were we resolving this case with Mr. Bishop today?
No, Your Honor.
You sure?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because we can get him on to Broward County. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here until he resolves this resisting case.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. Sorry, there was a warrant for your arrest in this case. All right, Mr. Bishop, going to stay your bond amount of $500. You also have an out-of-county warrant from Broward County in case 2000 CF, maybe 38 from Broward County. The judge of Broward County set your bond at no bond. Your bonds will remain at no bond for that case. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent you in both matters. You have a great day, sir. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Gary Wayne Laporte.
Mr. Laporte, you're here in case 2021 CT 650AA on a charge of driving under the influence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Condition of your pretrial release is that you are to not consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. You also may not enter any bars or any place where the normal or primary source of income for that business is the sale of alcoholic beverages. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor,
Thank you, sir.
he is out
Yes,
of
sir.
state.
Oh, he's out of state? Oh, where are you going back to?
California?
I'm staying
Are you
with
going-
my mom and my stepdad and taking care of them. They live in the villages. I have an address for that.
All right. Well, are you going back to California, or are you just going to be
No,
staying?
I'm staying out here. He broke his
All right.
hip, so I'm trying to help him.
Well, make sure you provide that address to the clerk before you, I mean, to PTR before you leave, because your mail is how the court is going to notify you. And if you're not at your address in California and they send you a mail and they send it to California, judge is going to issue a warrant for your arrest, and I'll see you back here again on that failure to appear. So, update your address. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, does he have a change of address form? Let's give him a change of address form. I just thought about that. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? I can't hear you.
Ignacio Solis.
Mr. Solis, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CT 5000 on a charge of driving while license suspended. I did review the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Gonna stay your bond in that matter in the amount of $500. Condition your bond that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You are also here for a violation of probation based on your on-view arrest by law enforcement because you're on probation in Lake County. Want to stay your bond in $0 of that matter. Hold on, wait, before you talk to me, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. I'm going to ask Ms. George whatever question you want to talk to me about because everything you tell me is on the record. I'm sorry, in that case in Lake County, it's 2000 CF 74. 2020 maybe. 2020 CF 74. All right, have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Vernon Anderson.
What happened to, did I give?
Velasquez.
Oh, Vasquez, okay. Oh. Apologize about that. Mr. Anderson, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CF 8350 on charges of possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell and deliver, possession of a concealed weapon or firearm by convicted felon, and possession of a controlled substance in 1, 2, 3 counts. In 2021 MM299AA, charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. In 2021 MM299AA, I'm going to set your bond amount of $100. Connection to that bond, no drugs, no alcohol, no drug dealers. No can associate with any drug dealers or known drug users. In 2021 CF 8350 on count 1, I'm going to set your bond amount of $15,000. Count 2, going to set your bond amount of $4,000. And counts 3, 4, and 5, going to set your bond amount of $150. Condition of that bond is you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol. You not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users in that case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Kovar Cummings.
Say it again.
Kovar Cummings.
Mr. Cummings, you are here in case 2021 CF 8336 AO on charges of possession of MDMA or ecstasy, possession of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon, and possession of cannabis. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in count 1, amount of $150. Count 2, $4,000, and count 3, $100. Addition of those bonds that you not possess or consume any drugs, alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. You cannot possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Christopher Anaveso.
Mr. Invesso, you are here in case 2021 CF 8228 AO on charge of possession of fentanyl. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Sorry, there's a warrant. Sorry about that. There's a warrant for your arrest in this case. The judge already found probable cause for your arrest. State, can you tell me when this offense occurred?
It was my understanding that it was in January. Oh, I'm sorry.
February 19th.
Of this year?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. And there's some other conditions. You not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. I'm not going to take any action in case 2021 CF 2102 AO.
I got a question, Your Honor. I already paid my bond. It was $2,500, and I paid it, and I turned myself. This warrant came out on the 14th, which was 2 days ago. As soon as I found out I had the warrant, which was yesterday, I went to the bondsman Moncrief across the street. I tried to do a walkthrough. I paid the $250. It says my bond's $2,500, so I paid the $250.
Okay.
I walked over here and turned myself in.
Yeah.
He came last night.
Yeah, because you had an open case, so that's why they wanted you to see me. But they didn't take any action on your open case. So if you posted bond, I've actually reduced your bond, but you should be able to bond out, leave.
Whatever was holding me from bonding out last night, it's gone now. I can bond out
I
now?
took care of it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Donna Harvey.
Ms. Harvey, you're here in 2021 CF 8312 AO on charge of, petty theft with 2 prior theft convictions.
Sir.
Hold on.
Can I ask him a question? Can I ask
Did
you
the
a
judge
question?
sign your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest? State your bond in this case in an amount of $5,000. You may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case and cannot return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. Go ahead, Ms. Dave. Go ahead, Ms. George.
Idea who the witness is, Your
No,
Honor?
sir, I don't know anything. I've been incarcerated all this time, so I don't even know. I was supposed to go home yesterday on a time served, and when I got back to my dorm, they served me with this warrant. So I don't even
I
know
don't know.
who, where, what, when, nothing.
I see it was a petty theft case from last year. There seemed to be another
Last
petty
year.
theft case from this year, and then, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, me
As
neither.
far as that's concerned. So you got to, as far as this is concerned, you can bond out today.
So
So
it's
you
got
can
a
step in
bond,
your
right? I
home.
got a
Yeah,
bond
it's a
on there?
bond. Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
God bless y'all.
Jack Terrell, is downtown court.
All right, this 2021 CF.
Yeah, Your Honor.
All right, well, did they handle this case downtown this morning? All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Terrell Jack.
Mr.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. Yes, they did. They reinstated his bonds
All right.
to $5,150.
All right, so Mr. Jack, you're here in case 2021 CF 4506 AO. You were arrested for a failure to appear warrant. Your bond was $0. Your judge in the case set your bond account 1 is $5,000 and count 2
150.
100
150.
150. All right. What any other conditions?
One moment.
I'm gonna guess one of them is that he doesn't possess any weapons or firearms.
Sir, do I have to pay this again or?
Did you pay it when you got back from court this morning? No. All right, then hold on. As I'm trying to figure out, you went to court this morning, correct?
I saw the judge I was supposed to see yesterday.
All right.
No, I just see jury trial is scheduled for 3 weeks. That's it.
So did they reinstate his bonds?
They reinstated his bond.
All right. So the court, they reinstated his bonds or they set him a new bond?
It says on the court order, bonds reinstated.
All right, sounds like they reinstated your bonds, so you shouldn't have to pay anything, but want to suggest you keep track of your court dates, keep in contact with your attorney, so you don't have this problem again.
I was in the courtroom. I was a few moments.
I don't know what happened. I'm just, some people just wait for the last, don't say anything, sit there all day, and then, oh, my case didn't get called. What happened? And I'm like, I think this is a vested interest that you would have in the 20 years you're facing on those 2 charges.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day. All right. I have Leonard. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Lonnie Leonard.
Mr. Leonard, you're here in case 2021 CF 8348 AO on charges of fleeing, attempted loot, law enforcement license sirens activated, driving while license suspended, and attaching tag to a vehicle not assigned. Hold on. Wait. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to set your bond in count 1, amount of $5,000. We're going to stay your bonds in your other 2 counts, amount of $100 apiece. Additionally, your bond should not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I'm also going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that matter. You're out on bond in 2020 CF 13449 AO, as well as 2020 CF 14354 AO. In one of those cases, another charge of fleeing and limp to law enforcement. And so you're all in PTR in one of these cases. Of course, going to revoke those bonds in PTR. We're going to set new bonds in those cases in an amount of $0. We're going to appoint a public defender if you're not already appointed to be represented to them in those cases. If you have no question, I talk to Ms. George, and she can answer those questions for you because everything you tell me can be used against you by the state of Florida.
Your, Your Honor, are you willing to revoke and double? My client is the only provider of his family.
Nope. It's very simple. You're not supposed to be driving, period. Under any circumstances. None. Like, there's like zero circumstances. Like your wife is having a baby in the car, you should not be driving. Like, period. And based on your criminal history, no. Have a great day, sir. Yep, have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Garrett Lindsay.
Mr. Lindsay, you are here in case 2021 CF 8349AO on charges of robbery. Judge signing your warrant in this case, set your bond amount of $5,000. Your bond is going to remain at $5,000. Condition of the bond is not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. You may not return to the scene, the location where this incident happened. You also may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And also, I believe Judge Gibson ordered that you have no contact with any co-defendants in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. If you have a question, I'll have to talk to Ms. George and see if that question is appropriate for the court this afternoon. All right. Have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Elvis Javier Aziz Lazardi Baez.
Good afternoon, sir. You're here in three matters. The first case is 2021 CF 15890 on charges of burglary of a conveyance. In 1, 2, 3 counts, burglary of occupied dwelling in a fourth count, and petty theft in the last count. 1 second. Hold on. All right. And you're also here in case 2021 CF 1590 on charge of burglary and conveyance and petty theft. You're also here in case 2021 CF 15880 on charge of burglary of conveyance and petty theft. In your first case, 2000, in all your cases, all warrants, when the judge has already found probable cause for your arrest. Your first case, 2021 CF 15890. Want to stay your bonds as set by Judge Mullion in the amount of $15,000 in count 1, and count 2, $5,000, count 3, $5,000, count 4, $20,000, and count 5, $1,000. You had no contact with the victim in this case. You're allowed to return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're also in 2021 CF 1590. You're also charged with burglary and conveyance in that case and petty theft. Judge set your bond amount of $15,000 as count 1 and $1,000 as count 2. They're going to stay your bonds out to the amount. No contact with any victims or witnesses, no return to the scene of the location, no weapons, no firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. As the 2021 CF 1588, I'm going to stay your bond amount of $15,000 as count 1. Count 2, I want to set your bond in amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond is that you are to not have any contact with any victims or witnesses. Now, no return to the scene of location, no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Excuse me, is there any way for you to
Yes,
get?
out on bond. I'm sorry, I apologize. I forgot about that. You also are out on bond in case 2020 CF 15171 on charges of robbery, assault, and snatching. The court's going to revoke that bond. Set a new bond of $0 as to that matter. I was going to point a public defender if you're not representing that case. If you have a question, you need to talk to Ms. George because everything you tell me is on the record and be used against you by the state of Florida. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Kenny Mason.
Mr. Mason, you're here in case 2020 CF 9139AO for a failure to appear warrant. Judge signed your warrant. In this case, set your bond in the amount of $0. Your bonds remain at $0. I want to appoint the public, also, I think the public defender is already representing you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
I say something before I go? No.
If you try to tell me something, I need to change your bonds. No, I can't because of
Oh, that's not what I was about to say.
All right, well, talk to Ms. George about what you got to tell me. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Sean Matthew.
Mr. Matthew, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CF 7618AO on charge of possession of utilum. The judge signed your warrant in that case. Already found probable cause. Set your bond amount of $1,000. Your bond's gonna remain at $1,000 in that case. You're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Not allowed to associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users from that case. You're also here in case 2021 CF 8326AO on charge of possession of MDMA or ecstasy with intent to sell and deliver, possession of prazolam with intent to sell and deliver, possession of cocaine with intent to sell and deliver, and 2 counts. As to your first count, we're going to stay your bond account 1 amount of $15,000. Your second count, we're going to set your bond amount of $1,500. Count 3, you're going to set your bond amount of $1,500, and count 4, we're going to release you on your own recognizance as to that charge. I'm going to make a condition that you're not possessing any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Now associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in both cases.
So altogether, what's my bond to bond out?
Yeah, you got bonds, but I mean, dude, are you 24 years old? I mean, I'm just looking at your history, man. You're picking a hard life at this point. I mean, you can say you can just keep giving your life to the state of Florida. I don't know if you really want to do that or not, but have a great day. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jared Meister.
Mr. Weister, is it Meister?
Meister, yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Meister, you are here in case 2021 CF 14880 on charge of robbery with a firearm and dealing in stolen property. The judge signed your warrant. In this case, has already found probable cause for your arrest. Say, what are you asking me to do as to count 1 of this warrant?
Count one, robbery with a firearm is a PBL, Your Honor. I ask defendant be held, no bond.
All right. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you, Mr. Meister. I'm going to, Ms. George, do you have any arguments with what the state's requesting?
No, Your Honor, we reserve the right to have an argument.
Yeah. Mr. Meister, I'm going to hold you at no bond as to count one. As to count two, going to set your bond in the amount of $2,000. Condition of your bond, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no contact with any possible co-defendants. No weapons, no firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're also not allowed to return to the scene of this robbery. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent you. So have a great day, sir.
All right, you too, thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Juan Carlos Otano.
Mr. Otano, you are here in case 2021 CF 8341 AO on charge of aggravated battery. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to stay your bond in this case amount of $3,500. Condition of your bond is that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You may not return to the scene, the location of this incident. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And also, you may not have any contact with any possible witnesses from this incident. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Excuse me?
What part did you not hear?
Question.
What part do you need the interpreter or?
No, I just need to know why am I on probation because
You're not on probation. You were arrested for a new case.
A crime before. I'm a teacher.
Okay.
Volleyball coach in a high school.
Okay. Right now, you were arrested for a charge of aggravated battery. I stayed your bond in an amount of $3,500.
Yeah, I can pay.
You may not. Okay. You cannot possess any weapons or firearms.
No,
Can't have any contact with any witnesses or victims from this case.
Never.
As long as you do that and you keep in contact with your attorney, appointed the public defender to represent you, you have a great day.
Yes.
All right.
Going out that way.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Torrey Price.
Mr. Price, you are here in case 2021 CF 8322 AO for charges of possession of MDMA or ecstasy, sale or delivery of methamphetamine, trafficking in methamphetamine in an amount of 14 grams or more, possession of cocaine, possession of oxycodone, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Did review the charging affidavit in, did believe the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. I want to stay your bond in count one amount of $1,000. Count two, I want to stay your bond amount of $15,000. Count three, we're going to stay your bond amount of $150,000. As a count four, I want to set your bond amount of $150. Count five, $150, and count six, $100. Conditional your bond that you not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. Well, also, whoever is able to bond you out in this case needs to comply with Florida Statute 903.046, sub 2, sub F, and file an affidavit with the court attesting that the funds used to bond you out in this case did not come from an illicit source, similar to the crime that you're being charged with. You are on probation. In Orange County case 2019 CF 5982. In that case, the court, after reviewing this discharging affidavit, is going to find on view probable cause to arrest you for a violation of probation. I want to set your bond in that case in the amount of $0. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in both of your cases. You have a great day, sir.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Kenneth Russell.
Mr. Russell, you're here in case 2021 CF 82990 on charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. I did review, wait. There's a warrant for your arrest in this case. The judge already found probable cause for your arrest. Want to set your bond in this matter, an amount of $2,500. It's going to come with supervision by pretrial release services. If you have no contact with the victim in this case, you sort of not return to the scene of the location where this incident occurred. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not have any contact with any possible witnesses from this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Ryan Russell.
Mr. Russell, you're here in case 2021 CF 8035 on charges of burglary of an occupied dwelling in 3 counts and petty theft in your 4th count. This warrant, another warrant. All right, the judge signed your warrant in this case. It's already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to stay your bonds as set by the judge, amount of $2,500 in its counts 1 through 3 and $100 in account 4. Condition of your bond that you're not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. May not return to the scene, the location where this incident occurred. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Moses Velasquez, Your Honor.
Mr. Velasquez, you are here in case 2021 CF 7671 on charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Judge signed your warrant in this case, set your bond at no bond. But the court is going to, if already found probable cause for your arrest as well, I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $50,000 in this case. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not return to the scene of this location where this incident occurred. I said no contact with the victims, right? And witnesses. All right. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
I don't even know what the incident is because I don't know where the victim is. I don't know what the incident is. That's why me and my wife was finding out because I never had.
Says that on April of this year. Got into a situation with Mr. Virgil Stevens. So you can have any contact with that person.
I don't even know who was the individual.
All right. All right. Well, it should be easy to stay away from them since you don't know who they are.
What's the name of him? I don't even know who that.
That sounds perfect. You should be able to stay away from them. Have a great day.
Okay, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
CeeLo White.
Mr. White, you're here for 2 matters. The first one is 2021 CF 8196 on charge of attempted robbery with a firearm and conspiracy to commit robbery with a firearm. One second. The judge signed your warrant in that case. Actually, hold on. 1 second. Actually, he's just here on the kidnapping, correct?
I'm sorry?
Just here on the kidnapping, correct?
No, he's on here on both cases.
Both cases.
No, I'm sorry, I lied. He's just here on the kidnapping.
Kidnapping.
Yeah, only thing I have in my hand is for the kidnapping.
Yeah, just the kidnapping.
Okay, that's why, okay. Apologize that. Mr. White, you're only here for one of the cases. That's 2021 CF 8313. You're charged with kidnapping with a firearm. A judge signing a warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest for that charge. Say, what are you asking that I do as to the sole count of this warrant?
Kidnapping with a firearm is punishable by life, Your Honor. At this time, state would ask defendant be held no bond.
Mr. George, I'm appointing the public defender to represent him. I believe this is a life offense.
Your Honor, we would just ask to use your discretion to set bond in this case.
Take a look, take a look, take a look.
And I would just also point out, Your Honor, that he has relatively nonviolent criminal history. His background.
Ms. White, we'll hold you at no bond as to your kidnapping charge. Condition your bond, you have no contact with any victims or witnesses or co-defendants in this case, that you're not possessing any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. All right, you have a great day, sir. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Matthew Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in case 2021 CF 2885 AO on a failure to appear warrant. The judge signed your warrant, set your bond amount of $5,000. Your bonds remain at $5,000. I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond cases in this case.
I never.
You already had a public defender representing you, I think, in your other case. You have a great day, sir. All right, perfect timing. I'm guessing you're here for a case?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter, previously sworn.
All right, well, it's 1 o'clock, so I got my interpreters back, so should be able to do this quickly. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Byron Joel Santiago Santiago.
Byron Joel Santiago Santiago.
Mr. Santiago, you are here in case 2018 MM 5380 AO for a failure to appear. Judge set your bond amount of $500. State within the case you're going to resolve today.
No, Your Honor.
All right, so your bonds remain at $500 in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you if you're not already appointed. You have a great day, sir. What? Yes, sir.
I have 40 days. Necesito, tengo 40 días en Seminole County. A ver si me lo corren concurrente.
I have 40 days in Seminole County. I was wondering if that could be done concurrently.
We have to work that out with the state of Florida. I'm not taking any open pleas right now. Have a great day, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Antonio Alejandro Fuensalida Barrera.
Antonio Alejandro Buensalida Barrera.
All right. And counsel, you can put your name on the record, please.
Attorney John Quinones, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Fuensalida Barrera.
All right. Mr. President, sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 7517 on charge of felony battery. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Mr. Quinones, you want to tell me anything before I set release conditions for your client?
Your Honor, I would just point out that it's my understanding that he has no prior criminal record in the state of Florida, and I asked him also in his home country of Chile. Also, he does have a family, has 2 children, has a wife, has a permanent residence here in Orange County, actually in Osceola County. He is employed, he's got his own business with his wife. And so I would ask the court to take that into consideration and respectfully ask for a bond of approximately $2,500 to $5,000.
All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond in this matter amount $2,500, conditioning your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case, not return to the scene of the location where this incident happened. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You have Mr. Quinones representing you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
Okay? Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Luis Eduardo Gutiérrez Cortés.
Luis Eduardo Gutiérrez Cortés.
Mr. Gutierrez Cortez, you're here in two charges for case 2021 CF 8340 AO, charge of leaving the scene of a crash with injuries and driving under the influence. Reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. You're going to stay your bond in count 1 amount of $2,500 and $100 as the count 2. Addition to the bond, you're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. You cannot possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and you'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. You also may not enter any bars or places where the primary source of income is the sale of alcoholic beverage while you're out on bond in this case. All right, let's get to that. Sir, it says here that you make $900 a week.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, you're not going to qualify for the services of the public defender, so you have to hire your own attorney to represent you in this case, or you can decide to represent yourself. That's your choice. You have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
José Díaz González.
Jose Diaz Gonzalez.
Mr. Diaz Gonzalez, you're here in case 2021 MM 4863 AO on charges of petty theft and resisting officer without violence. I did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in count one in amount of $250 and count two $500. Condition of your bond, you're not allowed to return to the scene of location, may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses, may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You are out on ROR in two matters. The first one, 2021 CF 4187. The next one is 2021 CF 4189. And so those cases, the court's going to revoke your bonds in those cases, finding probable cause that you committed a new law offense while out on release in those cases. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in all those matters. You have a great day, sir. And Ms. Barrera, you have a great weekend.
You as well, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have anything else for the better of the order before we close out the week?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right. We are adjourned until Monday morning at 9.